Hi. All right, Aries. So, this is what stuck to my arm when I started your reading. Important visions. Important visions. Comes and goes. Important visions. Working on a little project. It's fun. Making dreams a reality. You know what I mean? Pretty sure that's the only way it gets done. Let's see, what are these? Okay. Good. Wow. Okay. So, strong cards. Well, I see that full moon is going to, that full moon will put you in a new position of being able to see something that, and it could be the solar eclipse too that happened, but I think by the time the lunar eclipse is solid, the end of the month, right? 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, I guess all these numbers. I see that something will become very clear to you. It's like you've been analyzing the way that you feel, right? It was interesting, Aries. Sometimes the message is so concise with you. Like, I just looked up and it was 2 minutes and something, right? But that kind of said it all. I felt like it said it all in a way. Thanks for that. Starting to make more space, okay? I see that you... What's that? I guess we see... Look at that. Love it. It also expresses that it's neat, right? Eventually it sort of becomes reality, right? Can you see that? My homegirl and I used to make them when we were... What a difference between this and that, right? Eyes make all the difference, right? How we perceive. So what if we couldn't see all these kind of things right now? How would we think about it? Well, I guess you have to ask yourself, well, what's it sound like? What's it smell like? What's it feel like? Right? There's something about There's something about worth, like possessing something. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? Particularly emotionally, what does that mean? You have the King and the Queen of Swords here. 18 plus, but we're born naked, but I see two very intellectual people here. That have a lot in common. I do see it specifically as another person, but of course this is just your internal and external world of your mental capacity. Okay? Particularly your internal mental program. It's not quite programming, it's your mental processy within the emotional realm. Okay, like how you think about your emotion, how you function within that. There's something that you do where you kind of try to solve. Someone tries to solve difficulty through sex. Now you can do that, right? You can. Sexual healing is a real thing. I've actually been reading quite a bit about it because my friend let me borrow a book. It's fascinating. It's about the health of sex and like where it's not just like this pleasurable endeavor of, you know, chimpanzees or monkeys, or chimpanzees and dolphins, so they say. But, you know, and it being like, what do they say in Big Lebowski? Like, something about being a certain kind of enterprise, but, enter the prize, right? Enter it. Which would actually mean that the woman or whoever is the receiver is the prize of sorts. But I suppose it could also be the entering of a prize. Just a second. 5 seconds. Oh, Lord. Come on. 1 second, Aries. It is so hot. I can't. It's pretty intense. Okay. So I know they say like, oh, fanning yourself takes more effort. Like I remember in the New York City subway when it was like sweltering and you could feel the grime when the train would go by, it would just coat your face and this like icky and it's dirt, but it's not dirt, you know, it's just pollution. But I'd still fan myself there. I'd get one of those magazines, those newspapers that give out for free, just to wave them and make a fan out of them. So the point is don't listen to what anybody else says. Okay, do what you need to do to make yourself comfortable. Okay, during this time. I see that you're going to be revealing a lot about what you've been thinking about and how that's made you feel. Okay, quite honestly, right? Quite clearly, very, very, very. Here I am. This is what I know. This is what I feel. I am so. I'm not wearing a mask. Is what I heard. Here I am. Some of you could have a Virgo moon or be dealing with someone who is a Virgo or an Aquarius moon. But it can also be someone, Virgo moon is someone who sort of conceals their feelings, okay? They're very practical about them. They're good at analyzing their own, but they don't necessarily externally communicate about it. It's internal, right? Mercury. But it's important within a love relationship, or when you're, whoever you love, that's important to you. It's whatever you are involved with that's loving, where you want to share this love. It's so important that you do that without wearing a mask, and also with people who don't wear masks. And if there needs to be a conversation about it, I hear that there needs to be a conversation about it. Okay? I see that someone's really clear cut on starting something new in the future. They've been thinking about it for a long time. I don't know if I'm repeating myself, but this is the situation. You shouldn't make any major decisions or judgments until after the eclipse. And I see you should be kind of, the path that you're looking to begin, where you have to deduct something to begin again. It's like you need to get something out of the way to start. There's only 2 spaces and both of them are full, but you want to plug in this new thing to get it going, right? Then you got to unplug one of them. But I see with that until the full moon in Virgo, that path won't utterly begin until then. Okay, whatever that all means to you. I see until then you should, if you, whoever it is that's in your life that you love, that loves you, you should express that. And with the King and the Queen of Swords also, swords are about it's writing, right? Communication. So maybe write a letter to somebody. Virgo is also Mercury, so it's a lot of, what have you been thinking about? I'd also say that since these will be out before the lunar eclipse, but I'm not sure about the solar on the 13th, but that's not the point because you're still unconsciously doing it. But I would say that when Leo season comes around, Saturn, right? They rule the teeth. I think I did a lot of, when I used to do demolition, I didn't protect myself because I was young and I had good teachers on how to do the work, but when it came to safety, no one really told me how to do that. Okay, so there's something about that for you. Maybe like calcium intake. Okay. Let me see. Let me see what this path is for you. Close this out. This is Ace. Okay. Wow. you need to, there's an importance to have sympathy for whoever you're working with, okay? We could take this as humanity in the collective, but we have to work, when we start, it's nice to think of the collective in that way, in this larger scale, right? But how that all works is when we are each our own gear, right? And we are each our own tool, being, we have to care for, I'm having deja vu, we have to care for ourselves, right? We'll be worried about what Johnny's doing next door, downstairs, or whatever. Whatever happened on TV with the princess or the prince or who, whatever. Doesn't matter. What matters, what makes up the matter is you. And what you do with your choice of being alive right now. Okay? And I see in that, having compassion, particularly, you got to start with yourself. Okay? You have to, you must. Deve. Dovere. Dobbiamo. Is that what it's called? Dovremmo. Yeah, August. I see 2 months from now. That's still September, right? Somebody else got this, but don't judge anybody for their money. Not that you would, but just like even of yourself. Like, oh, I'm this. This is what this. Whatever that programming is, just let it go. Okay. You have health. You have your life. So, love that, right? That's basically what you need to focus on is how you feel, your loving relationships, nurture them, okay? Be practical in your emotions when they get a little heavy, especially like for those of you who are married or, are trying to move homes or trying to move energy in your relationships, kind of. Just take it easy. The wheel's spinning, and it'll turn, and eventually you'll make it to the top. Okay? Doesn't mean there's never going to be any challenges, but you don't really like it when it's too easy anyway. Plus, you have Saturn in Capricorn, so in a way, you have Saturn in the 10th house. So it's like, it's kind of testing you, like, how much can you I heard handle the energy of Saturn in ways of work in knowing your boundaries, to particularly mentally, and how you deal with because each of the planets represents a different thing, and a metal and a color and all this and that. It all correlates, and the occult, the hidden from sight, is now becoming, people are now being able to see. Okay? It all depends on what we want to study. Okay? I see that as another way to heal difficulty in yourself too, is looking at the world and how fucked up it is in that way and being like, all right, it is flat. Or whatever it is that connects you back into, I know that I don't have to go through this life with a mask on anymore, because life is epic and beautiful. And there are hidden treasures everywhere. and this persistent, like, presence of God that is sort of ignored, right? Well, no need to have, like, less of that experience, but how about more of that experience? Yes, let's have more of it in this earthly realm. Let's bring the idea, the essence of God down into the physical world, Saturn, right? It needs to be here anyway, because we're having a real hard time loving each other, loving Mother Nature, particularly loving Earth. Okay, Earth is heart. That's what this one is, you know? Anyway, Aries, one last one for fun. This was actually in your spread. Let me see. There's something about a need to be more lighthearted about sex. Like, and I know for you women out there, sometimes, you know, Archie's a little bit different, like, but there's something about it where it's not so, maybe you need to do something a little more taboo. Not that you gotta tell everybody about it, but just something about it where it just isn't taken so seriously, okay? I'm not suggesting promiscuity. I'm just suggesting some sort of freedom within it. Okay? Yeah. People only know what you like if you tell them. Okay? That's the end of that. Take care of yourself, okay? Peace.